front row, remain seated comfortably in the front seats. We're about to begin. Guys, on. हाँ attention, ladies and gentlemen. We will begin the session within 10 minutes, requesting all the delegates to come forward and occupy the front seats and remain seated comfortably. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the special session on Andaman and Nicobar Island on the theme Emerald Blue is Calling You, Partner in Andaman and Nicobar's Maritime Future. This session being held as a part of India Maritime Week 2025 under the theme Harnessing the Blue Economy for a Prosperous Maritime India highlights the growth, opportunities and vision for the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, exploring how they can evolve as a model of sustainable island development, a logistics and transshipment hub, and a center for ecotourism and maritime innovation. To begin the session, I request all our esteemed guests and panelists to kindly join us on the dais. I have the pleasure of welcoming the session chair, Honorable Lieutenant Governor, Andaman and Nicobar Administration, Admiral Devendra Kumar Joshi, PVSM, AVSM, YSM, NM, VSM, onto the stage. Sir, please. Now I welcome Thank you, sir. Now I welcome the session convener, Sri B. Kashi Vishwanathan, Chairperson, Cochin Port Authority and Chief Engineer cum Administrator, ALSW, onto the stage. I invite the session moderator, Dr. Chandrabhushan Kumar, IAS, Chief Secretary, Andaman and Nicobar Administration, to the stage. I now invite Ms. Chanchal Yadav, IAS, Commissioner, Tourism and Fisheries, onto the stage. I invite Ms. J.P. Iron Cynthia, IAS, Managing Director, Kamaraja Port Limited. I invite Ms. Purva Garg, IAS, Secretary Shipping, onto the stage. And I also invite Mr. Vibinar Menath, the Nautical Officer, Cruise Parrot Mission, onto the stage. Thank you, sirs and madam. Now, as a gesture of our deep respect and appreciation, we shall felicitate our learned session chair on the dais. May I first invite the Honorable Lieutenant Governor, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Admiral Devendra Kumar Joshi, for the felicitation. And I request Sri B. Kashi Vishwanathan, Chairperson, Cochin Port Authority and Chief Engineer cum Administrator, ALSW, to kindly felicitate the Honorable Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, sir. We now begin the session with a welcome address and context setting by Sri B. Kashi Vishwanathan, IRSME, Chairperson, Cochin Port Authority and Chief Engineer cum Administrator, ALSW.
Most respected Admiral Devendra Kumar Joshi sir, the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Vice Chairman of Island Development Agency. Respected Sri Chandrabhushan Kumar, Chief Secretary, Andaman and Nicobar Administration, distinguished panelists, invited guests, colleagues and friends. Good afternoon and hearty greetings to every one of you. It is truly an honor and privilege to welcome all of you to this Maritime Discussion Forum on the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. On the theme, Emerald Blue is calling you, partner in Andaman and Nicobar's maritime future. Under the overall theme, harnessing the blue economy for a prosperous maritime India. On this occasion, amongst us, we are deeply honored to have the distinguished session chair, the most respected Admiral Devendra Kumar Joshi sir, the Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, whose visionary leadership continues to guide Andaman and Nicobar Islands toward integrated maritime growth and enhanced security. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. I, on behalf of Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, on the organizing committee of IMW 2025, we extend a warm welcome to you, sir, to this session. We are also privileged to have Dr. Chandrabhushan Kumar, IAS, Chief Secretary, Andaman and Nicobar Administration, as the moderator of the panel discussion. Thank you, sir, for being with us and for sharing today's important deliberation. I also extend hearty greetings and warm welcome to our distinguished panelist, Srimati Irene Scindia, Managing Director of Kamaraj Port, Srimati Sanchal Yadav, Commissioner for Tourism and Fisheries, Andaman and Nicobar Administration, Srimati Purva Garg, Secretary Shipping, Andaman and Nicobar Administration, Mr. Jadavat, President of Shipping Owners Association, Mr. Vinod, representing party, Andaman and Nicobar. Can we have a round of applause for all the dignitaries on the dais? Someone once said, the sea is not a barrier, it is a bridge. The line is very true when we speak of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These islands have been connecting India to the wider world through trade, through culture, and through our shared maritime heritage. Today, as we gather here, we are not just looking at the sea as a vast expanse of water, but as a space of possibility, opportunity, and connection. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are much more than a scenic cluster of islands in the Bay of Bengal. They occupy a central place in India's maritime map, strategically, economically, and environmentally. Our islands reminds us that India's maritime strength is not only about ports and ships, it is also about people, partnership, and sustainability. In the background of these contexts, today's forum becomes very important. Ladies and gentlemen, as we look to the future, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands can serve as a living example of what we mean by the blue economy, a place where economic progress, environmental preservation, and community prosperity move forward together. By enhancing our ports, strengthening shipping and logistics, promoting responsible tourism, and supporting fisheries, we can turn these islands into a model for sustainable maritime development in the Indo-Pacific. The vision is very clear, a maritime future that is secure, inclusive, and sustainable. Our islands also reminds us that India's maritime strength is not only about ports and ships, it is also about people, partnership, and sustainability. Before I conclude, I would like to thank all our participants for your presence, your time, and your commitment to strengthening India's maritime future. Your engagement today will make this discussion richer and more meaningful. Once again, on behalf of Organizing Committee of IMW 2025 and Ministry of Ports, Waterways and Shipping, I extend a warm and hearty welcome to all of you. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for that warm and inspiring address and for setting a wonderful tone for today's discussion. I now invite our session chair, Admiral Devendra Kumar Joshi, Honorable Lieutenant Governor, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, to deliver the keynote address on the theme Andaman and Nicobar, India's Eastern Maritime Hub and Blue Economy Powerhouse, setting the vision and maritime growth and regional integration.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, CPT, dignitaries seated on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. What I thought I'd do is to provide an overview of what the seascape on the maritime theater of Andaman and Nicobar Islands looks like currently. What vision do we have to take it forward? And in the following sessions, the Chief Secretary, the Commissioner, and the Secretary will cover some of those aspects in much greater detail. We believe that insofar Indian and islands are concerned, in the vision of Viksit Bharat and a 5 trillion plus economy, whilst we have many initiatives on the tourism sector, but we believe that it is the ports and shipping sector that is going to be the main driver of our contribution towards this vision. And we believe that it is not only from the ANN Islands point of view, but also from the ministry's point of view, whereas there are, of course, all the other coastal states which are also endeavoring to push this vision forward. I would tend to think that the contribution that ANN Islands can potentially make is quite unparalleled. And I say that on account of 2 or 3 major factors. First is that almost 1/3 of the country's exclusive economic zone is in our waters. The second factor is that somewhat more than 25% of the coastline of this country is in our 836 islands. And the third factor is that in terms of land area, we are bigger even than a couple of mainland states. All of you are aware that ANN, for various reasons, tribal concerns, security issues, etc., had remained sort of backwards in infrastructural development for the first 6 odd decades, which has started changing really in the last 10, 11 odd years, particularly after creation of the Islands Development Agency in 2017. Now, limiting so far as this forum is concerned, myself only to the maritime scape, I would like to enumerate in brief some of the major initiatives that are currently in progress. Going south to north, I would like to start with the Great Nicobar Island, and my task is greatly simplified because of the amount that has already been coming out in the open domain in recent times. The Honorable HM in this morning's address also made a mention of the port. Alongside Vadhavan in Maharashtra, it's poised to become the second or the third largest container handling port in the country upon completion of its final phase. The cardinal point is that the ministry has already declared it as the 13th major port of the country. Perhaps it will come out. Currently, the codal formalities relating to tenders are in progress. That means it is already at the stage of commencement of its operational phase. In the first phase, which is scheduled for completion in 5 years, it will have a capacity of 4.3 million TEUs, and upon completion of the final phase, it will go up to 16.45 million TEUs. So that is how GNI is poised. And all of you are aware, all of you are, from the maritime domain, you are knowledgeable, that in terms of a strategic location, dominating the Strait of Malacca. There would be no other port in India that could compete with its strategic location vis-a-vis the Indo-Pacific theater, and depending on which side, whether you are looking east or west, the entry or the exit to the Malacca Strait. Going north, coming to the capital of ANN Islands, Port Blair, which is now Sri Vijayapuram, we've entered into a 30-year Memorandum of Understanding with the Cochin Shipyard Limited, CSL, wherein they will upgrade our HR skills and the dockyard infrastructure. So with that, SVP, Sri Vijayapuram is poised to become a major ship repair center, highly skilled and highly modernized. Dry dock extension, etc. projects are already in progress. Close by, we already have the country's first STS, ship-to-ship transshipment terminal in Port Meadows, with a German consortium called Matsya. An Indo-German JV has already been executed. The MOU is in place. The final environmental clearances are in progress. And this will be up and about in no time at all. Going further north, and I'm not even counting jetty extensions and into our existing harbors like Rangat, Maya Bandar, Diglipur, so on and so forth. I'm right now talking about only major initiatives. Going north, and now it will be something like 750 kilometers north of the Great Nicobar Island. In Atlanta Bay, we have proposed another deep water port where the feasibility study by IIT Chennai has been completed. They have found it eminently suitable as with the least amount of dredging and requirement of erecting a breakwater. They have calculated that a jetty space of something like 4 kilometers can be readily made available on PPP mode. And our estimate on fine-tuning it is that it will actually be something of the order of 7 kilometers. So taking all these initiatives into consideration, in the coming 5 odd years onwards going forward, I can foresee an upward swing in the shipping traffic in that area, which brings me to the final recommendation that we have made very recently to the ministries concerned and PMO. And that draws its genesis from the very recent cabinet decision to earmark 70,000 crores to provide impetus to ship construction and ship repairs, is to position the ANN Islands as a ship repair and ship construction hub to begin with in the Indo-Pacific region and going forward into the entire expanse beyond going east from the Pacific side at all. Now we set out a small study group and they carried out an examination of the Bay of Bengal rim countries as to what repair and ship construction infrastructure exists, going clockwise from Sri Lanka, omitting of course the east coast of India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, west coast of Thailand, west coast of Malaysia, northwest coast of Indonesia. And we've come to the conclusion that very rudimentary, if at all, ship repair and ship construction facilities exist in this entire basin. And therefore, we feel that given the right impetus, we are well poised going forward to position ANN Islands to begin with as a ship repair hub and going forward into even a ship construction hub. And the model that we have proposed is that our existing shipyards, I'm talking at this point only of the PSUs, they are all legacy shipyards dating back to the colonial days. And if you look at any of them, you start with, say, Maharashtra, MDL, smack in the center of Kolaba, cannot grow even by an inch. Going down CSL, again inside a channel, very limited scope to grow. Vishakhapatnam, HSL, deep inside the old city area, cannot grow. Kolkata, Gardner Shipyard, smack in the center of Fort Williams, cannot even grow by leave alone a centimeter, not even by a millimeter perhaps. So the model we have proposed is that any or one or two of the existing PSUs, like it obtains in the context of universities, you have the North Campus, the South Campus, and so on and so forth, comes and sets up a ship repair and a ship construction campus in ANN Islands. We have plenty of land, like I said, in terms of land area, we are bigger than a couple of mainland states even. There is no dearth at all of deep water ports, and this initiative going forward, I think, can place us into the realization of the Prime Minister's vision of making India one of the 5 premier ship repair, ship construction hub centers globally. So with that overview, I would like to thank you for your attention, and my colleagues from the administration would cover these matters in greater detail. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for the visionary words. And before we move on to the panel discussion, I request the session chair, Honorable Lieutenant Governor, to be comfortably seated in the front row. We now move on to the panel discussion moderated by Dr. Chandrabhushan Kumar, IAS Chief Secretary, Andaman and Nicobar Administration. The panelists for the session are Ms. Chanchal Yadav, IAS Commissioner, Tourism and Fisheries, Ms. J.P. Iron Cynthia, IAS MD, Kamaraja Port Limited, Ms. Purva Garg, IAS Secretary Shipping, Mr. Vibinar Menath, Nodal Officer, Cruise Bharat Mission, Mr. Jadved, President, Ship Owners Association, and Mr. Vinod Padi, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. I request the session moderator, Dr. Chandrabhushan Kumar, IAS, to kindly take over the session.
This is working, no? Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So, thank you very much. Good afternoon to all. We are very grateful that our Honorable Lieutenant Governor just gave us that kind of macro view about beautiful islands located in this Indian Ocean, we call Andaman Sea also. And it has been kind of integrated with the kind of greater India vision of the country from time immemorial. Honorable Lieutenant Governor has already taken you through kind of south to north of these islands, which are almost 800 plus kilometer kind of in length, that kind of length, and 836 islands, 836 islands, these group of islands we are having. There are plenty to talk, and we are having very distinguished panel here, and which is going to talk about different issues, different topic. All are concerning our maritime aspects related to the country. And where Andaman Nicobar is positioned in that particular maritime vision of the country, I hope our panelists are going to take you through their presentations. At the end of these presentations, we will open for question and answers related to these issues. And panelists are going to be happy to answer queries related to the areas which they would have covered, kind of thing. So as already Honorable LG guided us, when we talk about maritime, the first thing which comes in our mind is shipping. And so we are starting our panel discussion. And this panel discussion is going to be like every panelist is going to have a presentation on that particular aspect. And once they finish, all of them finish, and then we will have the discussion kind of thing. So first I'm going to request our Secretary Shipping from Andaman Nicobar Administration to talk about the shipping related issues of Andaman Nicobar Islands. And Ms. Purva Garg, she has a decade-long service in Indian Administrative Service, served at various locations, Puducherry, Chandigarh, Delhi, and now in Andaman Nicobar Islands. So she will take us through the aspects related to shipping in Andaman Nicobar Islands. Thank you. Purva.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon. The Honorable Lieutenant Governor, sir, of Andaman Nicobar Islands, senior officers from the ministry, senior officers from the various ports. We have senior officers from Cochin Shipyard and Shipping Corporation of India, and all my friends sitting here. Thank you for joining us for this session. So I'm grateful to Honorable LG sir for giving such a holistic perspective about the shipping department and the shipping industry in Andaman Nicobar Islands. And the basic idea which I want to convey here is about the various initiatives which the government has taken to boost the maritime sector in Andaman Nicobar Islands, and how that presents opportunities for the private sector to come in and participate, and how these seas become a bridge and not just connectivity. With this background, I'd like to start. The brief structure of my presentation, as I mentioned, would be a brief introduction, the port sector, shipping sector, and the various initiatives. This we have already covered. Here, what I wanted to show was the north-south extent of 800 kilometers and the geostrategic location of Andaman Nicobar Islands, wherein we are very proximate to the Southeast Asia, and how we are the eastern sentinel for the country, and how the Andaman Nicobar Islands could have a very good stronghold in the Indo-Pacific region, which was just explained in so much detail before me. And I would like to highlight here how the shipping and the port sector is the economic lifeline for the islands. Here I've just tried to show that we have one major port, which is the Galatia Bay, which is right on the bottom of the screen there, and 23 notified ports. Within one UT, we have 23 ports, and they are spread across 800 kilometers. So that itself speaks about the commitment of the government for development of these islands. With respect to the shipping services, we see an annual passengers of approximately 75 lakhs, and annual cargo which is handled in Andaman Nicobar Islands is 2 million metric tons. So with this, the point I wanted to highlight here was that out of the 75 lakh passengers, we have mainly 4 segments which move the passengers, which is the harbor sector, the foreshore sector, which covers the nearby islands of Swarajdeep, Shahid Dweep, Rangat, etc., and the inter-island, which crosses over to the 10-degree channel towards the south, and the island and the mainland sector, which is Andaman Nicobar Islands to mainland India. So herein, the majority of the passengers, they move in the harbor sector, which is around 60 lakhs. Then coming to the foreshore sector, one could see that the dark blue area, that is the private sector participation. So this is a good window of opportunity for the private players, wherein already we have, out of the total roughly 14 lakh passengers, the 10 lakh passengers are handled by the private players. Then the inter-island sector and the mainland sector is roughly 20,000 passengers. So the Directorate of Shipping Services mainly deals with government-owned vessels, and we have a fleet of 66 vessels, out of which we have 53 passenger vessels, 2 cargo vessels, and 11 auxiliary vessels. This again, I would be highlighting in my in the further slides, how such a huge fleet and its modernization, again, is a good opportunity for the private sector to participate in the development of Andaman Nicobar Islands. Herein, I would like to share our Honorable Prime Minister's vision about the Maritime Amrit Kal Vision 2047 and how Andaman Nicobar Islands play a pivotal role in it. उसकी ये वीडियो प्ले कर दीजिए. Sorry, ऑडियो प्रधानमंत्री जी की.
साथियों, अंडमान निकोबार द्वीप समूह ने भारत की आजादी के आंदोलन को ताकत दी है. आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए, नए भारत की रक्षा, सुरक्षा और समृद्धि के लिए भी अंडमान निकोबार की व्यापक भूमिका है. इसी को समझते हुए 2017 में ही आइलैंड डेवलपमेंट एजेंसी का गठन किया गया था, जिसमें सभी महत्वपूर्ण स्टेक होल्डर्स को शामिल किया गया. इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट स्कीम्स के इस पूरे क्षेत्र में एमएसएमईज और दूसरे उद्योगों को प्रोत्साहित किया जा रहा है. ये हमारे देश का सौभाग्य है कि हमारे पास अलग अलग हिस्सों में अलग अलग चीजें हैं जिनको हम विकसित कर सकते हैं. जैसे अंडमान और निकोबार में से सी फूड हो, ऑर्गेनिक प्रोडक्ट्स हो, कोकोनट बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट्स हो, इनसे जुड़े उद्योगों को हम बल देने वाले हैं. अंडमान और निकोबार के 12 आइलैंड्स का चयन किया गया है जहां हाई इंपैक्ट प्रोजेक्ट का विस्तार किया जाएगा. साथियों, ब्लू इकोनॉमी के लिहाज से, ट्रेड के लिहाज से अंडमान और निकोबार स्ट्रेटेजिक लोकेशन पर है. ये चेन्नई पोर्ट, कोलकाता पोर्ट और बांग्लादेश के मोंगला पोर्ट सहित कई पोर्ट से बहुत कॉम्पिटिटिव डिस्टेंस पर स्थित है. समंदर के जरिए माल ढुलाई का काम तेज गति घट रहा है. ऐसे में गहरे पानी की सुविधा वाला प्रस्तावित ट्रांसशिपमेंट हब अंडमान और निकोबार को वैश्विक समुद्री व्यापार का प्रमुख केंद्र बना देगा. आने वाले समय में अंडमान निकोबार ब्लू इकोनॉमी का पोर्ट, मैरीटाइम और स्टार्टअप के हब के रूप में विकसित होने वाला है.
Thank you. So with this background and हमारे ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी का जो विजन है उसके हिसाब से हमने अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड्स में अपना एक मैरीटाइम अमृत काल विजन 2047 बनाया है, जिसके केंद्र बिंदु ये 9 पॉइंट्स में मैंने यहाँ पे दर्शाए हैं. सो द फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज टू स्ट्रेंथन पोर्ट एंड अलाइड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. Then we want to create world-class cruise infrastructure and yacht marinas across the islands. Drive logistics and multimodal connectivity. Promote shipbuilding and repair facility. जैसे सर ने अभी बताया that the government is committed and there is a commitment of 70,000 crore rupees to be pumped into ship construction and ship repair, and how there is huge potential in this market. I'll be elaborating on that. Then fleet augmentation, skilling of manpower, bolstering digital connectivity, enhancing operational efficiencies through Industry 4.0 technologies, and the overall ease of doing business, which will provide the overall umbrella for this entire maritime vision. The main projects which have already been discussed here with respect to strengthening of port and allied infrastructure are the International Container Transshipment Port of Galathea Bay. This is very strategically located, which is barely 40 kilometers away from the Malacca Strait, and it has a potential of around 16 million TEUs. The second potential project is the deep water port at Atlanta Bay. It is in Diglipur. This is the northernmost point of the Andaman Islands, Andaman Nicobar Islands, and it gives us a very strategic location within the Bay of Bengal. It has a natural depth of 20 meters, so it does not require much dredging. So overall, the cost of investment in the project would become substantially lower. And a feasibility study has already been undertaken by IIT Madras on this. Moreover, this port also has the advantage of being a good potential for a shipbuilding or a ship repair facility. जैसे अभी sir ने guide किया, that it could be a satellite campus of some of our established PSUs, and we already have a MOU with Cochin Shipyard Limited, so we would be exploring those possibilities further. Apart from this, Sagarmala project and the entire scheme was again, it was started by the Ministry of Ports and Shipping Waterways under the overall maritime vision of the Honorable Prime Minister. And Sagarmala में अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड्स को roughly 200 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट की प्राप्ति हुई थी, जिसमें हमने ये 6 प्रोजेक्ट्स को अंडरटेक किया था, जिसमें 3 हमारे पैसेंजर टर्मिनल्स हैं एंड 2 जेट्टीज का एक्सटेंशन है एंड 1 कार्गो का अप्रोच वे का प्रोजेक्ट्स वर अंडरटेकन. Apart from this, हमारे पास 67 jetties हैं across the 800 kilometer stretch, and उसमें से the government is committed, the government of India and the government of UT, we are committed to revamp our existing structure to further strengthen our existing infrastructure. Going further, the Great Nicobar Island project, it does have the ICTP, but उस ICTP को further augment करने के लिए, the government has also decided to invest in some other projects like yacht marinas, cruise tourism, ship repair facilities, and ma'am would be discussing further about those things in her slides as well. This is one place which I would like to draw attention to. This is that the world-class cruise infrastructure is already upcoming in the islands. For example, I would like to just give a brief perspective. Before COVID, on an average, we had 6 cruises coming in every year. And even this year, we've got confirmation for 4 cruises, December, January, February, March. So we are lined up for 4 months, which are our main tourist seasons. So certainly there is a tremendous potential for cruise tourism in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Apart from this, जैसे अभी सर ने बताया कि Indo-Pacific is the area which we are looking at. So on an average annually, we get 120 yachts which ply in the Indo-Pacific region. So therein we again want to tap into the yacht marina sector. And one area in Sri Vijayapuram, Meetha Khadi, was decided as a potential site by Indian Ports Association. Apart from that, Campbell Bay will also be developed and explored by the ministry to develop into a yacht marina. Apart from this, we've done an expression of interest with some new cruise circuit itineraries, tentative itineraries, which were shared. So therein we've given details of 8 islands and 2 anchorage ports, which have, as of today, they are unexplored. So it is again something new to be tapped into. The logistics and multimodal connectivity, what to my mind is the backbone for any infrastructure sector, and especially the ports and the shipping sector. So with respect to the logistics and multimodal connectivity, I'll just run through the basic initiatives which we've taken. So important ports, the roads which are connecting important ports like in Sri Vijayapuram, Car Nicobar and Great Nicobar Islands have been declared as strategic roads so that infrastructure can quickly roll in like bigger roads, better roads, so that we have seamless integration. Water metro at Sri Vijayapuram is coming up. This is again linked to the harbour sector, which I flagged, that we have 60 lakh passengers in the harbour sector. And the water metro which we are proposing in a joint venture or in a joint study with the Kochi water metro. So this is where we feel that there is a tremendous opportunity which lies. With respect to the multimodal connectivity, the inland waters, they show a big option wherein we have 11 routes are already identified to be developed as waterways further by Government of India. The inland vessels legal framework has been simplified with the new Inland Waters Act 2021. And also there was a demand of the local people and the local private players operating in Andaman Nicobar Islands to extend the IV limits to 6 new locations like Swaraj Deep, Campbell Bay, etc. The near coastal voyage agreements, which are under deliberation with Thailand, Malaysia and Indonesia, also give us a very good opportunity to explore the Southeast Asian market in the logistics sector. Apart from this, there is a vessel traffic management system coming up at Sri Vijayapuram Harbour, which is being done by the Directorate General of Lighthouses. The other lighthouses, we have 37 lighthouses across ANI islands. And here, pertinently, I would like to talk about the Rani Lakshmibai Shila lighthouse, which has actually expanded our exclusive economic zone, and it has given me access to almost 40,000 square kilometers of exclusive sea area is added by this one lighthouse. Going forward, the legal framework for the EXIM ports, port security, environmental sustainability of ports again would be the key points for providing good logistics and multimodal connectivity. Shipbuilding and repair facility. We've already spoken about the two potential sites, the Atlanta Bay at Diglipur, Galathea Bay at the Great Nicobar Islands. Apart from that, the integrated fishing harbor at Maya Bandar, which is coming up at the cost of 250 crores, also provides us an option for boat repair facility for bigger fishing vessels could also be explored here. The modernization of the marine dockyard, which Sir spoke about at Sri Vijayapuram, is underway in collaboration with the Cochin Shipyard Limited, and the extension of the existing dry dock. I'm sure the private players who would be sharing their views about the private investment in the shipping sector in Andamans would like to talk about the dry dock facilities in Sri Vijayapuram. This is again the fleet augmentation and how this 3,000 crore acquisition and chartering plan or the vision of Andaman Nicobar Islands provides an opportunity for the private sector to come join hands with the government and help in the overall maritime sector and the development of the country. For the skilling of the manpower, which again is very, very pivotal to ensure that it is inclusive development and everybody is within the net of our development, we have proposed a center of excellence for training of manpower, especially in the maritime sector and in the inland water sector to the Ministry, Government of India. And also I would like to flag here that the IV sector already has a readily available trained manpower of boat operators and all the manpower which we need to ply vessels within the inland vessels. So around 1,000 people are already registered with us for this particular activity. Bolstering digital connectivity, again we all know about the Chennai Andaman Nicobar Sea Link, the CANI, and under the Digital Bharat Network, we are reaching out to the remotest of the tribal areas of Andaman Nicobar Islands to provide better mobile connectivity and internet connectivity, which would be very key to our maritime Amritkal vision. Iske baare mein I would like to play a clip about how Andaman and Nicobar Islands can be developed as a data connectivity hub.
Andaman is a very strategic location. Why can't we make Andaman as the next big hub for global internet data transfer? Andaman can actually help Google and every other internet-based organization to reach to Southeast Asia, to Australia, to a large part of the world which is today looking at totally new capacity. Please.
So this highlights how digital data connectivity is important and how Andaman Nicobar Islands is sitting on that gold mine and how we can tap it. Enhancing operational efficiency with the port infrastructure, and now we're moving into the Amritkal. We want to ensure better efficiencies through various technologies, be it artificial intelligence in handling my ports, freight, cargo handling, Internet of Things through which we can put some sensors and data collection could be more seamless. Blockchain in logistics is again something which is coming up. Augmented reality and virtual reality can help us build ships quicker because we can test the ships faster through AR and VR technology. 3D printing. For example, we wanted to repair one tug in Andaman Nicobar Islands, and I was told that one socket out of that had to be brought all the way from UK. So then we actually tried, can we try 3D printing that one socket, which can provide me a quicker resolution for that correction of the tug. And I'm glad to share that although we did not end up 3D printing it, but it did help us push our vendors to quickly source that one socket for us. And the tug, which would take 6 months to get repaired, was repaired within 1 month. And so we source some of the material from Chennai and other places. So 3D printing holds big potential here. And autonomous vehicles, say for moving huge cargo and handling freight on bigger ports, could be something which we can look for in the future. Ease of doing business again and deregulation. This is the overall umbrella under which we are promoting and projecting Andaman Nicobar Islands to be the next destination for investment. And under the deregulation, we've simplified a lot of things, be it a single window clearance system, be it quicker permissions for various ships and flying permissions. And here again, I would like to use a small clip to show the determination of the government and Andaman Nicobar administration in this initiative.
आप सभी जानते हैं, आज सरकार मेक इन इंडिया पर, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पर कितना बल दे रही है। हम चिप से शिप तक भारत में बनाना चाहते हैं और इसलिए आपकी ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के लिए हम लगातार काम कर रहे हैं। सरकार ने 40,000 से ज्यादा कंप्लायंस खत्म किए हैं। व्यापार कारोबार में होने वाली जिन छोटी छोटी गलतियों पर आपके खिलाफ केस होता था, ऐसे सैकड़ों नियम उनको सरकार ने डीक्रिमिनलाइज कर चुकी है।
With this, I close my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Purva, for giving an overview. Now I turn to our Commissioner Shipping, Tourism, Fishery, Ms. Chanchal, to give us an idea about tourism potential, because whenever you talk about Andaman Nicobar Islands, that is the area which attracts everybody. Okay, there is a tourism scope for this thing. Interestingly, globally, 50% economy in tourism sector comes from the maritime sector. Unfortunately, in India, it is almost negligible kind of percentage in terms of tourism. So this is one particular area which has tremendous scope, and Andaman Nicobar Islands offer you immense possibilities. Over to you, Chanchal.
Thank you, sir. Respected dignitaries and guests today, thank you for this opportunity. We'll start with the tourism perspective on Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Can we start it? Yeah. Yes. So next. अभी सर ने बताया हमें कि ग्लोबली मैरीटाइम टूरिज्म जो है वो टूरिज्म का 50% है। कोई भी टूरिस्ट जब प्लान करता है कि मुझे कहीं घूमने जाना है, तो दो में से एक बार वो ये सोचता है कि मुझे समुंदर के पास जाना है, पानी के पास जाना है, एनीथिंग विच इज़ रिलेटेड टू मैरीटाइम। ये ग्लोबल है फिगर। लगभग $5 ट्रिलियन का ग्लोबल पोटेंशियल है मैरीटाइम टूरिज्म में, पर भारत में ये फिगर जो है ये रफली 5% के आसपास ही है। दिस इज़ वेयर वी स्टैंड, इसको नेक्स्ट कर दीजिए। दिस इज़ वेयर वी स्टैंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ मैरीटाइम टूरिज्म इन इंडिया। एंड जब ये फिगर 5% है तो सबसे ज़्यादा ग्रोथ भी यही होने के चांसेस हैं, क्योंकि दिस इज़ वेयर द ग्लोब लीड्स, द वर्ल्ड इज़ गोइंग टूवर्ड्स द सीज, टूवर्ड्स वाटर। सो मैरीटाइम एरिया, मैरीटाइम टूरिज्म इज़ द एरिया जहाँ सबसे ज़्यादा ग्रोथ का पोटेंशियल है, और हम सब पार्टनर कर सकते हैं इस ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल में, एक पार्टनर बनने के लिए, हिस्सेदार बनने के लिए। इंडिया में जो टूरिज्म है टोटल, उसमें भी अंडमान अभी बहुत अनएक्सप्लोर्ड है। इवन लेस देन 1% ऑफ द टूरिज्म इज़ of Indian tourism is from Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So this is where the next opportunity lies now, in the islands of Andaman and Nicobar. So before I speak more, I'll take you to the, can we show the video? Yeah. I'll take you to those pristine islands and show you what we offer in Andaman and Nicobar and what are the tourism opportunities. Yes, click on this first. Yes. I think. Yeah. So before, yeah, by the time we, yes. Volume? No, I think वो जो हमने hyperlink किया है, not this video. So जब तक वहाँ हमारा वीडियो चलता है, I'll tell you. मेरे कॉलीग्स ने भी बताया कि हमारा कोस्ट लाइन जो है लगभग 2000 किलोमीटर का कोस्ट लाइन है और 800 से ज़्यादा आइलैंड्स हैं. इसमें से सिर्फ 30 आइलैंड्स ही ऐसे हैं जहाँ पे हैबिटेशन है या जहाँ टूरिज्म है. सो बहुत सारे एरियाज़ अभी, यस, वॉल्यूम करना पड़ेगा आपको. बहुत सारे एरियाज़ हैं जो अनएक्सप्लोर्ड हैं. वी आर कनेक्टेड इंटरनेशनली. हम बहुत नज़दीक हैं साउथ ईस्ट एशिया के. हमारे पास इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट भी है और टूरिज्म में डाइवर्सिटी बहुत है हमारे पास. आई विल शो यू इन द वीडियो जब ये इसका वॉल्यूम आ जाएगा. तो ये सब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ जब हम प्रेजेंट करते हैं लोगों के सामने, तो दिस शोज दैट वाई अंडमान एंड निकोबार इज़ द नेक्स्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर टूरिज्म. यस, अभी ग्लोबली टूरिज़्म जो है, स्पेशली इंटरनेशनल टूरिज़्म जो है, वो ज़्यादातर बाय एयर ही होता है. समुंदर के रास्ते जो टूरिज़्म है वो भी बहुत कम है. इंडिया में जो इंटरनेशनल टूरिस्ट अराइवल है बाय द वे ऑफ सी, दे आर लेस देन 1%. हम एक ऐसी जगह पे मौजूद हैं इंडिया में जहाँ आसपास बहुत सारे देश हैं. तो अगर क्रूज़ टूरिज़्म इंडिया में डेवलप होता है इन दीज आइलैंड्स, so we'll have a lot of international tourists coming through sea route also to these islands. That is another opportunity which we present in these islands. वो hyperlink था भरत, पर sound नहीं है. Yes, yes. So I'll show you that in the end. तब तक मैं presentation run करती हूँ. तब तक प्रेजेंटेशन रन कर दीजिए, एंड में उसको कर देते हैं. सो जब मैं अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ की बात कर रही हूँ तो आई विल टेल यू, बीच टूरिज्म इज़ वन अपॉर्चुनिटी विच वी हैव प्रिस्टीन बीचेस. दीज आर जस्ट फ्यू ऑफ द पिक्चर्स. वी हैव हेरिटेज टूरिज्म. यू ऑल नो अबाउट काला पानी. No one here may not have heard about this word. Yes, we are the testimonials of colonial sins. And in addition to Kala Pani, there are many more heritage points which can be explored and which are yet to be explored more. There are Ross Island, Viper, Mount Manipur, and Chatham Sawmill, which at one point of time was Asia's biggest sawmill. We have geo-heritage tourism. Many of you must have seen the active barren volcano news recently. So India's only active volcano is in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. We have mud volcanoes. We have age-old Baratang limestone caves. We have beautiful natural bridges and other geo-heritage sites which can be explored. We have ecotourism which offers abundance of endemic species both underwater, over water, and in the air, the birds. We have a lot of varieties which attract a lot of tourists, and many more can also witness this. Astrotourism is another area which is coming up in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. We have class 1 bottle sky, which are the excellent skies for stargazing. Our horizons are open. We have 180 to 360 degree views of the night sky. You can gaze both northern and southern hemisphere stars from Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So the kind of opportunity Andaman and Nicobar offers in terms of astrotourism is unparalleled. Adventure tourism is a thriving area, but yes, there is a lot more which can be explored in this. We are pegging to become world's global diving destination for the country and for the world. Water sports, other water sports are also increasing in Andaman Nicobar. Surfing is another area where we are coming up. The Little Andamans offer a great surfing destination. Sport fishing is a very interesting and upcoming area in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. We offer a lot of day and night fishing opportunities, and since the islands are very less exploited commercially, so the kinds of opportunities and biodiversities for game fishing which exist in Andaman and Nicobar are unparalleled. We have a lot of target species which you can see, which are very different and unique. And so with this background, we invite Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we invite all of you, all the private players which are here and not here also, to become partner in our growth journey. As I was discussing, so far only 3-4 places have been exploited in terms of tourism: Sri Vijayapuram, Swaraj Deep, Shahid Deep, and somewhat North and Middle Andamans. You can see 3 ships. These are the areas which are exploited by far, and these are the areas where more potential lies. Now you can see so many more points can open. So connectivity is one area where private players can partner, and they can take the tourists to all these new locations where cruise circuits can come and take the tourists for new kind of experiences in these more islands. We have already opened up many islands for eco-resort facilities. 4 islands are currently under process for developing eco-tourist resorts, and we have good participation, and there are many more projects which are lined up where private players can partner and become partner in Andaman Nicobar's tourism growth journey. We have seaplane connectivity coming up very soon. Maybe by the early next year, we'll have seaplanes up and running in Andaman and Nicobar to these locations, from Sri Vijayapuram to Shahid Deep, Swaraj Deep, and Little Andaman and Baratang. We are also opening up our waters for houseboat. We have already notified houseboat policy, and we proudly say that we offer the best of experience, which can be amalgamation of both Kerala experience and Kashmir experience. We have very beautiful mangroves, we have good harbor sector, we have pristine waters where these houseboats can both ply and can be moved. I mentioned just now that we are pegging to become global scuba destination. We have some of the best diving sites in the world: South Button, Dixon's Pinnacle, Jackson Bar. We have World War II wrecks also, shipwrecks also, which this is the maritime history which people can dive and explore. We are following the global standards in terms of development of scuba. So this is an area which is upcoming in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And we are pegging to to make 3 world records. So I invite all of you enthusiasts to come and partner in these Guinness World Record formations. The first one is largest flag unfurled underwater. Then we are planning to make a tallest human stack underwater, and we are also planning to make largest human chain underwater. We are planning this in March 2026, and we invite all of you to partner with us and become witness of these historic moments. We have heritage circuit. I mentioned that the colonial history is located on different islands. So this circuit itself offers a great opportunity for cruise tourism and connecting all these circuits by covering one unified experience. So far it is not available in a unified single experience. So this is a great opportunity where we all can explore. I spoke about the colonial sill and how these islands have already become tourism paradise, and now with so much more opening, we are going to become the investors' paradise. I mentioned that we have over 30 endemic birds in these islands, so we have come up with the bird watching policy where we all can partner and make many more people witness these rare varieties of birds. We have also in place astrotourism policy. You can see the beauty of Milky Way in these photographs. We have tents policy, Andaman tent policy also in place where private players can partner. We have a caravan policy in place, and there are already caravans up and running in the islands, and many more can come. We offer a great opportunity for this sector as well. We have opened the North Sink Island very recently, and they are open but yet to be explored more. So it gives opportunity for private sector also to develop the routes, the connectivity there, and many more people can experience these recently opened islands, which very few people have seen so far. We have. So the idea is why I am trying to show you all these policies is that in terms of policy frameworks and legal framework, we have opened up a lot of new sectors. And here in this August gathering, I want to say that you all can now utilize these legal frameworks and policy frameworks which are already in place, and you all can explore these areas. So this is flyboats and water jetpacks policy for Andaman and Nicobar Islands. We have beach tourism policy as well for the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And yes, we offer our beaches for the destination wedding and destination events. And very few have experienced them so far. You have seen Goa weddings and you have seen Kerala weddings, but you might not have seen the Andamans and Nicobars by far. Now I will show you the video. Can we play now? Yes. So it's a small video, just a visual of what we offer and why you all should become partner in the growth journey, yes.
Islands. A true laboratory of nature. Mangroves, seagrass meadows, and enormous coral reefs support countless life forms underwater. Dugongs, 4 species of sea turtles, 15 dolphins, 59 sharks, over 1,300 mollusks, over 1,400 fish species, and around 200 species of reef-building corals. These numbers are counting on as new species are being discovered. Isolated from the mainland, many of these life forms have taken their unique evolutionary path and are endemics, found nowhere else in the world. But we know very little about these reefs.
This is the recent cruise to Barren Island, which sailed on 24th of October. The active volcano. This cruise saw so much participation and enthusiasm from everyone. This is the natural bridge between 2 islands. a shipwreck, World War II shipwreck. Mud volcanoes. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience and thank you.
Thank you, Chanchal, for this lovely presentation. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Jatwit for having some kind of idea related to private investment in maritime sector. Mr. Jatwit is president of Ship Owners Association of the islands, and he has a kind of wealth of experience in this sector. We would be very, very happy to have his point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. Honorable Lieutenant Governor, sir, Chief Secretary, delegates, distinguished panelists on the dais and distinguished guests assembled here for this important session as far as we are concerned, because we are from the islands and the island is close to our heart, and we are very positive about these islands. You've heard the governor speaking, the chief secretary and the commissioner secretary speaking, and the private sector on all fronts, especially maritime also, have been very positive about it. And like the saying goes, do we put our money where our mouth is? We do it. And we have been doing it for the last many decades. So I think that much I can tell you, that the private sector is very much part of the development process and supporting the administration and the government of India in their policies. Okay, so I think much has been spoken about the location of the islands, and everyone knows why Andaman Nicobar is very strategically located. We are closer to the Southeast Asian countries than we are to mainland India, as we call them. And the governor has already explained the kind of potential and the kind of percentage of economic landscape which we have. So we have a strategic gateway, and our Prime Minister's policy of earlier it was look east, now it is act east, and Andaman will definitely be a bridge for that policy. The three pillars which we feel the private sector is tourism, which Commissioner Madam has spoken at length about. Trade, we are in the corridor of trade. As another speaker said, the Bengal Rim, the entire Bengal Rim, we are mostly in the middle of all that. And of course, from the defense angle, it is a very strategic security islands. I mean, you have in the north China, and in the south we have Indonesia and the Malacca Strait. So strategy is very, very important for the entire policy framework. Today, definitely we are underserved, underdeveloped, you could say to some extent. We are in the path of development. Infrastructure every year is growing by leaps and bounds, and Government of India has now identified Great Nicobar as being one of the major ports and the most strategically commercial as well as strategic post. So, and we have a tremendous fishing economy which is untapped. As they commonly say that most of our fishes die of old age and they are never caught. So I think the blue economy potential is huge, and where private participation is required. Currently, where do we stand? I mean, I'm going to quickly run through it. So we, Secretary has already mentioned the kind of tonnage we currently handle, and cargo mainland to island, because the island does not produce anything. It produces maybe just a little bit of vegetables and fruit. So 99% of what we eat and what we consume and what we use for construction, including sand, because we are not allowed to ecologically take the sea sand, so even the sand comes from there, except maybe the stone to some extent is manufactured or produced there. So most of it comes from there. So the entire Andaman Nicobar depends on that, and we have private players who do 95% of that job. Companies like TCI and ITT have been doing it for over the few decades, considerably, I mean, efficiently. We get almost annually 20,000 TEUs of containers, plus break bulk materials like sand and cement, not only from the mainland. We have also started trade between Malaysia, Burma, Cambodia, and we were trying to do Indonesia, but it's not been successful yet. We are much closer to them, so certain commodities like bulk items are cheaper to get from there logistically than it is from, say, a Calcutta or a Chennai or a Vizag. So that is an opportunity which others can explore as well. Passenger movement, like was informed, the entire local movements of people, islanders, are done by the administration in the inter-island, in the foreshore, in the mainland island. But private sector went into that sector in 2009. That was the first time the private sector went into it, and it's now 17 years. From the first vessel which came in 2009, the private sector now has seven vessels. And we transport almost 1 million people every year between Port Blair, Swarajdeep, Shahiddeep. Port Blair is Vijayapuram. And most of them are tourists, 90% of them are tourists. And this is a very growing sector. As you have seen, the number of operators have increased, number of vessels have increased, and this is something which can expand to other locations and other islands in the archipelago. sorry. There's something which is of great interest to us, which has been mentioned, is cruise and yachting. So Andaman is currently a port of call for some of the tour operators, cruise operators. We are also a calling port for a lot of small yachts, even high value yachts for high net worth individuals of the world. They have come there. We have had the Saudi Arabian prince who have come there once just for a day to dive with the elephant all the way from Saudi Arabia. His vessel came from there, and so that is the kind of interest there is to that. And we are right in the middle of all the activities. So that is a great thing which we need to develop, and I think the Government of India and the administration has already chalked out a plan to develop a very modern marina which will help in location of these kind of yachts. Another thing which I wanted to talk about is a liveaboard. Now, a country like Maldives has 50 liveaboards which move around the islands. Similarly, if you go to the Mediterranean or even to the southeast Indonesia or something, we don't have that at the moment. Liveaboards are basically small cruise ships between maybe 2 cabins to 6 cabin, 12 passengers, and they move around the islands, gives the tourist an opportunity to do a lot of activities like game fishing, scuba diving, snorkeling, and just safari, sea safari. So this is something which we are working on closely with the administration and the DG Shipping to provide a policy framework so that more investment, private investment can come into this sector. And we feel there is a tremendous potential to that. The maritime infrastructure, a lot has been talked about, and we are thankful to the Government of India and the administration for having created a lot of infrastructure plans, and I am hopeful in the next 1 to 5 years, we would probably match any kind of infrastructure which is available in India or worldwide. Now, why are we talking about Andaman Nicobar now? I think GNI is a reason. And a lot has been spoken about GNI in media as well as today. What I wanted to add to that is GNI would become a great opportunity for maritime cargo movement within the Bay of Bengal rim. Now, just imagine or just visualize that you have vessels coming from China going right through the Malacca Strait towards Europe and places, Africa and Europe. Similarly, vessels coming from the other side towards China and Australia and the works. Now, if the big ships land all their containers in Great Nicobar, the entire Bengal rim, which is the eastern coast of India, starting from Chennai, Tuticorin, Vizag, Calcutta, going up to Bangladesh, going down to Burma, going down to the western coast of Thailand, the western coast of Malaysia, and of course the northern coasts of Indonesia as well. Feeder operators can be operating regularly between these to the Great Nicobar. And not only will they ease the incoming traffic, the imports into these areas, but export from these areas. Today, you would commonly have a situation where a person wanting to send out a container or wanting to bring in a container into Calcutta has to send his container, the container ship takes it to Singapore, and maybe from Singapore it is picked up and taken to Europe, or maybe it goes to Colombo. So this could change the entire dynamics of shipping, and I'm sure, I welcome this initiative of GNI, and I'm sure in the years to come this is going to be a very great commercial success as well. Blue economy, the fishing economy, like I mentioned, and I think the Sagarmala linked with it would really help the islands. Tourism push, the Government of India is very keen that tourism is the focal point for the islands, and like the speaker mentioned, that administration has a slew of PPP projects, out of which 4 have been now successfully bid for. There are 12 people who have bid for that, 12 major players of the country. And in the years to come, next 3-4 years, I am expecting 5-7 star resorts to come in some of these islands. Geography, strategically, I have already explained, and I think the administration and the government of India is now ready. Probably a few decades ago, the government of India was not very sure whether they should go in for development or not. There was the defense issue, there was the environment issue, but I think this government is kind of sure that what we want to do with the islands. So where can the private sector come in? I think, as already explained, modernization of the inter-island connectivity, Ro-Ro service, beautiful Ro-Ro services have started now in Mumbai, from connecting Mumbai to Alibag and Mumbai, other places in Mumbai. And similar Ro-Ro service currently is operated only by the administration. I think private sector can get in. However, there is a caveat here because it is a highly subsidized service. So we will have to work out some kind of a mechanism how the administration can support such private entry. Of course, the tourist sector, which is not privatized, we already have players in the water metro model. Something like Cochin could easily be developed, and digitization and more use of IT. Again, coming back to the cruise and yacht tourism, just to give a context, Phuket is only about 400 odd miles. Malaysia, the island of Langkawi, is probably another 500 miles, 400 to 500 miles. And this is the kind of numbers in tourism, cruise tourism they get, which is way, way ahead of what we are. And I think the potential is huge. What I would look at and what I want the private sector to kind of look at is to develop Port Blair as a not only just a calling port, but a base port or a home port. Just like Mumbai has developed now an international cruise terminal where you have a cruise ship which is based there and does regular sailings to Goa, Lakshadweep, and other places in the western coast. We would like to develop Port Blair as a base and a home port. Now why? Why is that important? I think this is the best port in India which can be used as a home port, because every day you could reach another country, every day you could, or within a day you could reach some of the internal destination of the islands. Whether it is Barren Island, whether it is Little Andaman, whether it is Diglipur, every day you will the passenger can come out into a new island. Not only a domestic island, but also an international island. Phuket, maybe you start in the morning, next day you will be in Phuket. From Phuket you start, next day you will be in Langkawi. You can go down south to Indonesia or north to Myanmar. So this is the kind of opportunity that exists for a tourist who can do domestically Andamans as well as international experience of the Southeast. Houseboats have been spoken for. I could also speak that there is an opportunity since we are not a great in terms of the land area. We don't have too much because still 90% of the area is under forest, which is a great thing for the islands. We could look at flotels. Calcutta has flotel now. Calcutta is berthed just in the river there. We could have a flotel there, and I think the administration is looking at a casino policy also. So maybe an offshore casino like Goa. So a flotel is an opportunity which we can look at. In terms of the other things, I think most have been spoken for, but cruise and yacht tourism is something which we really need to get into. These are some sample itineraries for the benefit of the people. So some of the inter-island itineraries and some of the international itineraries. We of course have the Nicobar Islands, which is Car Nicobar and the Nankaudi group, which is today not open to tourism. But who knows, in the future with dedicated cruise ships operating, maybe the government of India and the administration could look at controlled day tourism in these areas as well once cruise ships come. Cargo and logistics I have explained in detail earlier. So this is where we stand, and this is how the entire Bay of Bengal rim can be supported. Oil and gas is something the minister has announced that some gas find has been there. The administration is looking at a LNG power terminal. So there could be great maritime opportunities in serving these gas supply vessels or transfer vessels, an LNG transport vessel, LNG barges. So these are some of the maritime infrastructure which I think the government would not like to get into. And this is the opportunity which probably the private sector could leverage and tap into. Partnering for the island's maritime future, I think we strengthen collaboration, modern infrastructure, positioning Port Blair as a gateway, sustainable and inclusion. These things have all been talked about. STS has also been talked about. Just to give you an example, there was a pilot STS done in Andamans, and this was done mainly for coal. The coal came in, I think, from Australia or Indonesia by a large Panamax, and they were transported or transshipped into two smaller vessels which took them into eastern coast of India and Bangladesh. So this has already been done, and mostly it is ready except probably, like the governor said, only for the environmental part, and this is something which probably can start very quickly. So this is an opportunity for all operators and all traders who get coal into the country and into the Bengal rim to look at. So we were known as Kalapani, and I think from Kalapani to the blue frontier, the Andamans have journeyed from exile to now an opportunity. And I would like all who are listening to this in the audience or outside to look at Andamans positively. We as private entrepreneurs from the islands are ready, and you could either come in directly or partner with people in the Andamans to ensure that the maritime sector develops and the entire island and the entire country comes up. I have a very small video which is the kind of ferries we operate in the islands. It's a very 2 minutes video, and thank you for your patient hearing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jatwit, for taking us through this enchanting journey. Uh, we talked a lot about scuba diving and this kind of potential which we are having. And in Andaman Nicobar, whosoever is traveling, they have one particular desire that they should go for a scuba diving and that kind of thing. We have from Padi, Mr. Vinod, who is going to talk about this particular aspect and the kind of potential it has in our islands.
Thank you so much for kind words, sir. Good afternoon, honorable guests and distinguished delegates. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. As sir said, I'm from scuba diving forte, not from maritime industry. However, I was in maritime industry. I did my BSc Nauticals in Tulani Maritime 16 years ago, worked for Anglo-Eastern Ship Management and left. One day when I went to Andamans for a dive, on my first dive, I've decided to choose that this is what I'm going to pursue. So 15 years later, almost 9,000 dives certified, more than 1,000 people, diving across 4 different continents. I'm standing here representing India and Sri Lanka as regional manager for PADI. Of all the places, I've done more than 4,000-5,000 dives in Andamans alone. I've explored most of the dive sites, and I've gone to some of the extreme dive sites where a lot of people haven't done these before. You guys have seen the video which ma'am has showed, all the beautiful reefs underwater, right? Everybody says Andamans has great diving, but how great it is. Because if in case we go to any other hall and we ask them, they'll probably say they have better reefs and stuff, right? But on the other hand, if we take words of some prominent person, the father of scuba diving, Jacques Cousteau himself, in his own words, describing Andaman dive sites, an underwater paradise, wondrous realm of stunning marine life and coral reefs, with shimmering gates of coral and volcanic gardens. He explored these waters in 1970, subsequently in 1989 as part of Indo-French expedition on his diving vessel Calypso, kind of one of its liveaboard, first of its kind. So this is the man who explored every ocean on the planet, and he was stood humbled with the beauty of these Andaman Islands. So when we say the reefs and the marine life on Andamans are great, we are not just exaggerating. We can't describe the true potential of how great they look like. And he actually made a documentary and released in 1990 about diving in Andamans. Over a period of time, industry has flourished and significantly increased in Andamans, both for training and recreation divers. However, the true potential where the dive sites, the faraway dive sites where Jacques Cousteau himself was inspired, were actually not accessible unless you are going through a liveaboard. As Jadveer sir mentioned that there is an industry called liveaboard. In Maldives, close to 50 liveaboards there, and we don't have any, not just in Andamans, in the entire country. So that opens up a new territory for us, an entire new sector in this country, and Andamans particularly, that we can start something and we can have sure shot business and profitability. India alone have multiple locations to sustain multiple diving liveaboards. The Angria Banks on the west, Lakshadweeps, Indo-Sri Lankan waters, and most importantly, the Andamans. Each and every single location can actually make diving of India on the top of the list into every single seasoned diver's bucket list. And that is something which can be achieved in a very short span of time. Now, across the globe, we have multiple dive destinations like Maldives, Egypt, Caribbeans, Hawaii, Bali, Komodo, Philippines, and each of them turned into diving heavens purely because they have the ability to bring and attract seasoned divers again and again. And liveaboards do play a crucial role in it because they can take people to these extreme dive sites usually are inaccessible. The seasoned divers spend a lot of money, top dollars to be on those liveaboards to go and actually spend and able to dive in these remote islands. And usually they all revolve on one USP, something like great. or else they have great coral life, or else manta rays, or else a shark or something. Not many locations actually have something unique as what we offer in Andamans. Andamans, on the other hand, has multiple USPs and some of the arguably best USPs in the planet compared to any other liveaboard businesses. The present dive sites, which you guys have seen the video recently, already rival some of the best dive sites in the world. They themselves can actually sustain a liveaboard business. However, our crown jewels, like the barren island, an active volcano, recently the trip which was only just to go circle and come back, there is so much of interest to go and see. But on the other hand, diving around the barren islands, crystal clear waters, an active volcano, and people are just in the water diving. And the formations are underwater as if some giant sculpted them millions of years ago. And everything over there, the colors, because of the black volcanic ash, kind of having every color pops in contrast. And this is something no other country can offer. Every single mature dive destination has many things, cannot match what Barren can offer. Likewise, the Narcondam Island, another volcanic dormant island, which also has deep, dramatic walls, unlike anywhere else. If you look at one of the best dive sites, walls in the world, they'll actually say Bloody Bay Wall in Cayman Islands. I have dived there multiple times. I worked there for a couple of years. And these walls at Barren and Narcondam rival them on any given day. And the only thing is people have not seen it. And they have explored those locations and they become on the top bucket list for the divers. So we have that potential. And the reefs in Narcondam are untouched, the healthiest reefs. On top of that, there are the fan corals as big as this hall, which is unheard of like anywhere else. The invisible banks, rivaling to these two, with more than 50 square miles of reef underwater. It's like a true Grand Canyon. And these 50 square miles of reef is within the recreational depth. And these are the few examples which can sustain multiple liveaboard businesses in Andamans alone. And to remind you all, most of the Andamans is still unexplored. That means thousands, probably not exaggerating, dive sites are still to be explored. And in sense of looking at scuba diving industry as a whole, we have actually trained thousands of people in Andamans. I got trained all my professional courses in Andamans, and I moved abroad for a few years. And likewise, there are so many people. So Andamans is a great training grounds, and it has created best divers and dive leaders in this country. The scuba diving industry in general in the world estimates, puts it around conservatively at $20 billion. And somewhere around $5 to $6 billion on a conservative figure comes from the liveaboard industries. And in India, we have none of them. So that means there's a huge potential to start from. And I believe Andamans is the first place to start so that it's a sure shot profitability, and also all the plans of the administration already supporting those infrastructure to have those, like the docks and the support. So it is the time to actually invest in the liveaboard industry in Andamans. To simplify, as I said, we have $6 billion industry which India has never touched. And it's time, not just because of this meetings or anything, because of the administration's aggressive move to actually change, and also it will make the Andamans as the top diving destination in the world. From the point of business, our revenue generation, our in terms of employment generation, are for the sake of exploration and science. Betting on liveaboards in Andamans is the most prominent result which we can actually look forward to. And the Andamans can serve as a leading example for these businesses around the world and in India, in other locations. And I feel we are at the point of time, because of all these changes, that we could put Andamans, thus India, on the top diving destinations in the world. And sooner or later, every single experienced diver in the world will have a bucket list with India on its top and Andamans in the top. And that is absolutely possible. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I would like to take leave with hopes of diving on a liveaboard in Indian waters soon.
Thank you, Mr. Vinod, for taking us through this very interesting area. Now I turn to Ms. Irene, who is handling very important project which was talked about since morning. GNI project, one component related to that, ICTP, and would request her to share her thoughts, her points of view related to that.
Good evening, everyone. After all the enticing and enthralling presentation by Commissioner Shipping and the other speakers, I'm going to pick up another, I should say, incredible topic, because we look at Andaman and we talk about tourism. Now, if you are given the opportunity to again look at Andaman and talk about economy, talk about development, talk about a port sector. So that is what I'm going to look at here. So today, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Irene Cynthia, IAS officer, currently managing director of Kamarajar Port, which is located near Chennai. We are also a reasonable sized port handling about 50 million tons every year. And we have completed 25 years last year, so that says something, doing 50 million tons in 25 years. And operational efficiency-wise, I think I can claim that we are the best in the country, competing even against private ports. So with that, we have been assigned this incredible work of establishing the International Container Transshipment Port at Galatia Bay, Great Nicobar Islands. Very recently, about 2 months ago. So when we got this letter, my team and we were like surprised, mildly shocked, and wondering how did we end up with this, it's a huge task. So I'm just going to give you some important numbers, some glimpses of the project that we are envisaging. So I think many of our speakers have emphasized the point, the strategic location of Great Nicobar. So you can see here, Galatia Bay is at the very fag end of the Nicobar Island. And it's a small bay, it's very compact. We can almost say that it's almost like a natural harbor there. And if you look at the Andaman Nicobar archipelago to the eastern side of India, we can see that we are at the southernmost tip of the island. So why is this important? You can see the Malacca Strait. So you step out of the Malacca Strait and you step into ICTP. That is how we are envisaging. The Malacca Strait handles about 35% of the global cargo volumes. So we are looking at space, I should say it's a huge market, and you're going to get the first shop in the beginning of the road. That's what we are looking at here. We have received lots of interests from big players in the market. The project is exceptionally big. A lot of investment will go into it from Government of India, from the port sector. And we are also looking at a very skilled private partner who can get this project up and running. There is a natural depth of more than 20 meters. That means we can bring the biggest of the container ship that is available in the world today. So MSC Irina is the biggest currently. So that's 430 meters long, single ship. And that ship can be brought to this port, and we can handle 28,000 TEUs just like that. That's what we are looking at. So the whole project is envisaged in 4 phases. So phase 1 and phase 2 is what we are looking to implement immediately. So we will be beginning with phase 1, that's around 5 million TEUs. The numbers will follow. So with the total capacity of all the 4 phases put together is about 16.2 million TEUs, which we are looking at. Total container berths, it's an exclusive container port with about 19 container berths, 2 fuel berths, port craft berths. We are going to also have 2 breakwaters. One we can see is the east breakwater, which is at the fag end of the port. And there is a small offshore breakwater to provide a very less, I should say, very, very less wave movement and still waters for the ships to be built. We are looking at a lot of dredging and reclamation in the area. The reasons being that we will not take much land from the island. So a very small part of land area will be taken up, and the rest will be reclaimed and built. So these are the 4 phases which we are able to see here. The first phase, we are looking at about 5.8 million TEUs. Phase 2, it's a cumulative number. So phase 1 plus additional capacity, totally it's 11.3 million TEUs. Phase 3, phase 4, finally we are going to close with 16.2 million TEUs. The whole project with what we call escalation is about 1 lakh crore. Phase 1 and phase 2 is what we are looking at immediately, which is about 40,000 crore investment. Port facilities, now the uniqueness of the island gives us a challenge, as well as, I think, pushes us into creating a very sustainable environment from the port perspective. So we will have to have all kinds of facilities into the system. For example, right from fire tenders to all kinds of requirements, bunkering, weigh bridges, storage spaces, pump houses. These are all apart from the regular marine facilities. So because there is no available support system surrounding the proposed port area, so all facilities will have to be built into the system, and this is what we are looking at. We are also envisaging roads inside the proposed port area to facilitate movement of cargo within the ports. We are also envisaging a housing colony because port activity involves a lot of manpower. So KPL, being one of the most lean ports of the country, we are handling about 1,800 manpower inside the port. So that means we will have to create housing facility for 1,800 families if they want to move into the port facility. Along with this, there is also a common facility which is being envisaged, because apart from the port, we also have a power plant, a gas-based power plant which is being envisaged, airport facility to handle, to support tourism as well as other passenger movement. So all these facilities put together, we are also looking at common facilities like schools, hospitals, shopping complex. So whatever you can think of in a city, all facilities are being planned into the system. So this is the gist of what we are planning in ICTP Galatea Bay. I would like to thank Lieutenant General Sir, Chief Secretary Sir, Andaman Nicobar Islands, Commissioner Shipping, and Secretary Shipping for providing us this platform and opportunity to publicize, to let people know the opportunities that are available in this project. So we are looking at a very vibrant prospective private partner who will work with us in this project. And to put it in very simple words, I think this is a game-changing project, because not only for the local Andaman Nicobar Island economy, but for the country as a whole. Today, India is handling about 20 million TEUs. We are talking about 16 million TEUs in a single port. That's what we are looking at. So again, I would like to thank the Andaman Nicobar administration for providing me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Irene. We talked about marine shipping, tourism, private sector, and all kinds of things. And one very important area, which was touched upon by Honorable Lieutenant Governor in his keynote address, related to fishing. And Andaman Nicobar Island, you have that kind of availability of EEZ, where you have immense possibilities of this resource for the country. And recently, last year only, Government of India has declared tuna cluster. Andaman Nicobar has been declared as. So I would like to request our Commissioner Fishery, Ms. Chanchal, to give you a glimpse of this whole aspect related to fishery in Andaman Nicobar Islands.
Thank you, sir. You can start. Yeah. So I'll speak about the fisheries opportunities and the sector fisheries in Andaman and Nicobar. Yes. So I'll just give you brief facts. Andaman and Nicobar has potential of over 1,48,000 metric ton fisheries harvest, but so far we are only harvesting 52,000. So there is a lot of untapped potential in the islands. The second graph would tell you about tuna cluster, which sir just mentioned. So there is huge tuna potential available in the islands, but we are harvesting a very tiny part of it. So there is a lot of tuna untapped in the islands. The map down below shows you global tuna cluster, and since we are a tiny part of this, the red line shows where the Andaman Nicobar Island lies in the global tuna cluster. So we are right in the middle of the tuna cluster. Presently in the India itself, in the global trade of tuna is just 1.5%. And if we tap the potential of Andaman Nicobar Islands alone, this can rise to almost 3.3% in the global trade. So I'm talking about the global trade. So by harvesting tuna in the Andaman Nicobar Islands, we can increase the country's global presence in the tuna trade. The government has been setting a target to reach up to 2.5 million tons mariculture production from the present 1.5. So there is a lot of thrust in the marine production, and we have a lot of untapped potential. So we present an opportunity where Andaman and Nicobar fisheries mariculture can be tapped, harvested, to make to reach the global targets and to reach the national targets which we have for ourselves. And why Andaman and Nicobar? We have been talking since 2030 that we have a very long coastline, which is 1/3 of the country's coastline. We have 1/3 of the country's exclusive economic zone. We have uninhabited islands which offer tremendous offshore activity opportunity. Our bays are protected, full of multi-species fisheries potential, and we are proximate to Southeast Asian countries where the trade opportunities can also lie. So, Andaman and Nicobar offers opportunity for blue economy in major 4 areas: deep sea fishing, seaweed cultivation, brackish water aquaculture, and mariculture, including cage and pearl culture. We have already invited applications for the marine and aquaculture, and what the private sector or what the interested parties have to do is just apply for the applications which are already open, and we are here to answer for any query. So we are ready, and our gates are open for this opportunity. For seaweed cultivation, yes, we have identified almost 50 hectares of prime sea area which is notified for seaweed cultivation, and there have been successful demonstrations of this particular species, Gracilia edulis, by the NIOT, National Institute of Oceanic Technology. Applications have been invited for seaweed cultivation as well. They are also live. Anyone can apply, and we are here for queries. In fact, I would like to show you the yellow map shows the areas which have good potential for seaweed cultivation, and you can see both in Andaman and Nicobars we have a sizable area where seaweed cultivation is feasible and demonstrated as well. Pearl culture also has been, there has been research conducted on black lip pearl oyster in the islands, and research has led successful hatchery production. We have also invited application for sea area leasing for this pearl culture. Applications are live for this as well. For open sea cage, we have identified 250 square kilometer area for open sea cage cultivation. You can see the national potential for open sea cage cultivation, and 1/3 of it lies in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. You can see how green we are, especially towards the north and middle and south Andamans. So there is a lot of opportunity for open sea cage culture in Andaman and Nicobar. And in this also we have invited applications. In fact, we have received good response in the open sea cage cultivation, and we are ready for more. For brackish water aquaculture, you can see there is a lot of viability in this sector as well, and we have 618 hectares suitable brackish water for the aquaculture, and we have already brought a tiny part of it under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. And there is a lot of opportunity for bigger scale brackish water aquaculture in Andaman and Nicobar. And this is the map of South Andaman and the areas Sipi Ghat, Flat Bay, Vandoor, Okraganj, where the brackish water aquaculture can be taken up. For deep sea fisheries, I would again show you the similar potential. You see the national potential and how, despite being the tiny islands, we have a huge potential for deep sea fisheries, especially the tuna cluster. It was mentioned by the speakers before me as well. So tuna is an opportunity. I showed you on the global tuna cluster map as well. It's the opportunity where we offer the maximum potential. I have a small video on this. I'll show you.
Contributor to the blue economy, valued globally at over 40 billion annually. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands present an unparalleled opportunity with a vast 6 lakh square kilometer exclusive economic zone rich in high-value species like tuna, offering an untapped oceanic potential of yellowfin tuna and skipjack tuna. Located close to Southeast Asia, the islands enable efficient trade routes by sea and air, ideal for expanding India's tuna export capabilities. To scale up the value chain of tuna production, processing and export, the Department of Fisheries, Government of India has notified the development of tuna cluster in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. This initiative aims to attract investments, build partnerships with tuna fishing nations and implement training and capacity building programs. Infrastructure for fish landing, processing and export connectivity will also be developed to streamline operations and enhance global competitiveness.
So with this opportunity, we are also ready with the reform in fishing sector, and we have also earmarked a lot of budget for this. We have notified areas and spaces for mariculture, open sea cultivation, brackish water cultivation. We have a comprehensive policy in place. So we are just looking for the way forward. The applications are open. We are ready to lease out areas for fishing. We are ready to establish seafood clusters, single window systems. We have international cargo handling, and we are establishing integrated fishing harbor. With all this, we are looking forward to a lot of development in the blue economy in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and we invite all of you to be partner of this journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chanchal. With her presentation, this was the last from this particular panel. I would like to invite a question answer from the audience. So yeah, I can see one hand. And but before that, I think we can clap for the panelists for their presentations. Yeah. Thank you. So yes, please, you can tell about yourself, and then yeah, mic please. वहाँ नहीं माइक दे देंगे आपको, माइक से बोलिएगा अच्छा रहेगा. हाँ, माइक आप लोग का, हाँ यहाँ से दे देते हैं, ये ले लीजिए, ये ले लीजिए, हाँ.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Srihari. I come from Mysuru, Karnataka, and
आप थोड़ा सा वहाँ से बात कर लीजिएगा तो ठीक है.
Okay, this is good, right? First of all, Admiral Joshi sir, Jai Hind. Dignitaries on stage, you had an excellent presentation towards what Andaman has in potential to bring forward, and a lot of things we have to agree that yes, indeed, it's a jewel for our country, what Andaman is and what it's producing. The nexus of my question is two parts. The first part is about the Malaccan Strait. It is what we say in the technical term, it's a bottleneck. It's a strategic point. How do we plan to secure this? Because the Greater Nicobar project is something on which I would love for you guys to shed some light on. And along with this, I would like to emphasize on one thing Mr. Diver said here, that the Barren Island is the jewel of Andaman Nicobar, and I would say Andaman Nicobar is the jewel of India. So if we see in that aspect, bringing in a project to Galathea Bay that's close to roughly 1.2 lakh crores, I would say from what Madam said, Irene ma'am said, that comes roughly to an estimation of what the net worth of HAL Industries are today. And that's such a big project coming there. My only question is, how would we think about sustainability towards the ecosystem that's going to impact when you're bringing 40 lakh people onto the island? The pollution would increase along with the amount of people coming in. On the other side, you would also have a lot of development that we are already aspiring for, but at the same time, the current ecosystem lives because there is such less disturbance in the waters or in the ecosystem. So I would just like for anybody in the leadership to just address these two questions. Thank you so much.
I think you can talk about paddy thing first, about Barren Island paddy, then I will answer about GA.
Sure. I will go to the second question and let the chair take the first question. Barren Island, as you said, the jewel of diving for Andaman Islands, I would say it's a jewel of diving in the world, and not just exaggerating, comparing to all the dive sites I've ever dived with. And the one what we are proposing, what we are trying is basically going on liverboard and diving and basically coming back, not stepping on the island at any given time. And diving is kind of most eco-friendly sport one can do. From the training purpose, times people teach how to take care of the ocean. If tomorrow every single person on the planet becomes a diver, the world will be a better place. Because if we see something down there, we start taking care of it. If nobody has seen the video of the straw pulling out of the turtle, there wouldn't have been that straw movement, because people saw it and people start taking care of it. And we are taking people over there and basically showing to basically see this is what we have. And Baron, as I said, these are deep walls, and some formations down there are as if Mother Nature sculpted them. And this is something everybody should see it. And in terms of the liveaboats polluting and all those things, our shipping industry has strict MARPOL regulations to control and avoid any pollutions at all levels. And that has been addressed for a very long time and stuff.
Thank you. As far as the first part of your question related to GNI project and sustainability part and other things, I would like to just, from my own positioning in the islands, and also as my colleagues have mentioned about this very, very prestigious project for the country. And not only for the country, it's also for the globe I can talk about, because anything which adds value to a kind of progress with kind of taking care of the environment is very, very needed for our future generation. And I think we need to look back to our history, maritime history, how Andaman Nicobar has been part of that particular location where we were talking about the presence of the then India in Southeast Asia regularly kind of thing. And when we are talking about this project has not started like just yesterday or something like that. After a lot of deliberation, lot of discussion, with all kinds of stakeholders, and particularly with our laws, our whatever we have as per our law, which are very stringent laws and all those things. Every stage has been followed what we have reached today. And this is something which has to be known to everybody. Also, I think the geography of Great Nicobar Island needs to be understood. It's an interesting location, almost 900 square kilometer of area. And already in 1970s, 60s, 70s, almost eastern coast, which has been kind of locations of our settlement for ex-defense personnel. Every border location in the country, at that time this was very normal to have ex-defense personnel. So eastern coast is already having a kind of development where this project is also coming out. Whatever has been shown by our colleague, it's in that particular part. And for that, whatever is already prescribed under the law has been followed. So there is nothing to worry from that particular front. It's a completely sustainable project, and it is environment-friendly project. If you go through the components of the project, then you will yourself appreciate that how country is committed to take care of environment itself, and also to look into the future progress for the whole country, for the whole world kind of thing. Thank you.
Sir, I would like to just add to what you have just told us, sir. Sir, in our Ministry of Ports and Shipping also, there has been a lot of changes in the way we are looking at the sector now. If you look at the sector in the last 2 years, the ministry has come up with Harit Sagar guidelines. Now they are slowly nudging us into looking at how will you make your port green? How will you have green shipping? Now these are all thought processes which are which have been initiated, and they are giving us targets. Now, these are all target oriented. Like, there is a net zero component which we will have to meet by 2047. So even in our own ports, we are simply telling our stakeholders now that you'll start moving into electric-based equipments, not have, fuel-based or DG-set-based. Now, these are all lots of decisions which are being taken in the ministry. And as Sir has nicely said, if you look at this project, this is not a new project. This project has been there for almost in thought and discussion for at least 20 to 30 years. After so much of deliberation and discussion, they have come to an optimal point where they have said that, okay, now with all these prescriptions in place, with all these environmental safeguards in place, now let us see how we are going to implement this project. And if you look at it, the cost of the project, sometimes people ask, you are going to put, 7 berths in the first phase. Why is it costing so much? Most of the cost is the cost that is going to protect the environment. So they are saying that, okay, no sand will be brought from, Andaman and Nicobar. That means I'm going to procure sand either from India mainland, or we will have to procure sand from the adjoining countries. So that's going to cost us. So lots of steps are being thought. For example, the power plant. Now the power plant itself, though my knowledge of the whole project is in the, by what we read in the paper, and of course my acquaintance in the last few months, the power project has been changed so many times to suit the environment of that particular, area. So all this deliberation has been happening, and after a lot of understanding, the EC clearance has been given. So I think that is something which we will have to appreciate. And again, I would like to reiterate that our ministry is also coming up with very clear-cut guidelines for green port and green shipping. So that is again getting incorporated into the documents that we are building now, sir. So that's something I would like to place. Thank you.
Anybody else has any question? Oh, yeah, please.
I am Captain Bhandarkar, and I have been sailing master many years ago, but I have been sailing in those areas. One particular island of interest is of Coco Island. There is an issue of environment, but that island belongs to somebody else, and it was donated by India some centuries ago, and India is trying to acquire that. If that happens, then taking care of the environment becomes easier. But there's some political something. Can you please throw some light on that?
You want a response from us? I think you are a better person. You are more aware of these issues, which we can't discuss about those things. We are discussing about how we are progressing in terms of maritime development, related to marine infrastructure, related to marine resources and all those things in that beautiful part of our country. Okay.
It's our country. I'm talking of my country, but that island also should be ours, so that we can take care of that.
I think that debate can happen somewhere else, because that's a location, that's a different location. Here we are talking about from our island, whatever we are having, 836 islands we are having. And so these are beautiful locations, and we need to protect, preserve, and use for the country in that manner. So I think thank you very much for this very interesting kind of panel discussion, panel presentations, and a few questions which we came across. On behalf of the panelists, I thank everybody for listening, all of them. I think after this, there will be small concluding remarks related to kind of summarizing what all panelists have said. So there will be very small presentation, 6, 7 slides kind of thing, run through. But before that, I think you have to request something.
No, sir. Thank you to all our wonderful panelists and our moderator, Dr. Chandrabhushan, sir, for such an engaging and insightful session. And thank you for the wonderful questions too. So now moving on, I invite Dr. Chandrabhushan Kumar, IAS Chief Secretary, Andaman and Nicobar Administration, to deliver the concluding remarks.
I think there will be a lot of repetition may be there, and it should be also, because I'm going to talk about the takeaway from today's session. So why Andaman Nicobar Islands? It has been talked for last 2 hours, that unique and a strategic location. And we have not only today something which we have realized, we have a legacy. We have some kind of history related to that particular island also. And what can drive this kind of growth or this kind of progress in that particular location? One thing talked about Kani submarine. And this particular network, I can assure you, if you are in Sri Vijayapuram, then you will have faster net speed than you are having here. And that's why when our Honorable Minister was talking about that, how it can become a data center hub. And when you have that kind of net connectivity, then it offers you that kind of opportunity to build that infrastructure, which is a kind of mainstay for today. Power, there has been talk about that. There has been a lot of effort in terms of power. And currently, we are mostly oil-based kind of power development. But already there is a 50 megawatt LNG plant is coming up, and there is already tender has been issued for 60 megawatt solar kind of facility. For Great Nicobar Island, we have already 108 megawatt LNG also plant. It is being coming up. International airport we are having. Udan is giving us the connectivity from north of Andaman Nicobar Island to the southernmost island. So that is coming up. Seaplane already has been talked about. Number of resorts are coming up. In fact, recently we had the bid of our 4 island resorts and 1 for revamping, and it has been a very, very huge success. Already there is a pipeline for 11 islands, that kind of project also coming up. And there is a huge area, which is Rangachang Golf area, which is already EOI was issued, and we have very, very interesting partnership coming up in that particular area. So that kind of destination is going to happen in this particular island, and these will drive. So for maritime mobility, that kind of thing, already we discussed about Great Nicobar Island project. Ship repair location, already our Honorable LG also suggested about Atlanta Bay, which is in the northern sector, very near to your Coco Island area. And port infrastructure is already that kind of thing, already in pipeline. Government of India has already noted these kind of requirements, and they have already taken care of. So we are going to have. New ships are already in the pipeline for chartering and acquisitioning, and that kind of investment opportunities are available in this particular area. For fishery, already my colleague talked about tuna cluster, deep sea fishing framework. In fact, the draft policy Government of India already formulated, and once that is finalized, then this is going to be a kind of tuna hub for the world. Seaweed potential you would have seen in the map, and pilot project is already successful. We have already trained local fishermen and fisherwomen, and also the self-help groups in this particular sector. There is enough export potential of this particular sector from Sri Vijayapuram. In fact, I was also informed about that currently the tinned fish for Northeast India, goes from Andaman Nicobar Island. That's the kind of market they have already captured. So this is one area where we have immense possibilities. Tourism, already we talked about. Government of India has asked us to go for destination tourism and develop a particular activity or particular location as the global destination. And for that, this diving destination of the world, guidance of Honorable LG, we have already proposed it. And all the locations which got mentioned in the presentation of Mr. Vinod, we have mentioned there. But we have to do more refinement in coordination with our private partners also in this particular thing. Heritage, already talked about that everybody knew Andaman Nicobar from the perspective of Kala Pani, the kind of grit, courage, determination shown by our freedom fighters. That's a testimony, that location, if you visit that location, then you have that kind of feeling. And so that's why the heritage circuit also we have proposed as a destination tourism. Nature is bountiful, and that's the area where we have tremendous potential, but we are not rushing through. We are going through very carefully, putting every policy in place. Before entering in any area, you would have seen number of policies have been issued from the administration side. The reason is very simple. We want to lay down the rules of the game so that it's not free for all kind of thing. And then only we can nurture this whole nature which is available to us. Barren Island cruise, it was a kind of success which we saw. We took 460 persons in one ship to Barren Island in the night, which included 125 government school children free of cost also. So we are not only looking at tourism, we are also looking at our future generation who is exposed to one of a life kind of activity, like you are going and watching Mount Everest, going to Everest base, similar kind of experience they are having now. So this is one area which has come up like a very, very popular kind of thing, game fishing area. And we have a very good policy in place, and people come from across the world to enjoy this particular activity. And this has already been talked about our colleague. I would just like to request all of you to come to our stall, which is in the hall number 143C. And there you will be exposed to one of the beautiful harbors of our Andaman Nicobar Island through VR. So we have created a VR of Nankauri Kamota Harbor, and that will give you an idea that what kind of natural beauty our country has. And that we have brought in here to be experienced by everybody. So that is the idea which we are looking at. This is the Barren Island. Even today, it has lava coming out. So we take our ship in the night so that you can see that red lava coming out of that. It's a kind of, we say that the seeing is believing kind of thing. So that kind of experience you are going to have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful closing reflections and for guiding today's deliberations. And before we move on, we would like to take a moment to felicitate our esteemed moderator and panelist as a token of appreciation for their valuable contributions. May I request Sri B. Kashi Vishwanathan, IRSME Chairperson, Question Port Authority and Chief Engineer cum Administrator, ALSW, to kindly do the honors. May I first invite our moderator, Dr. Chandrabhushan Kumar, IAS Chief Secretary, Andaman and Nicobar Administration, to receive the felicitation. Next, may I invite Ms. Chanchal Yadav, IAS Commissioner, Tourism and Fisheries. I now invite Ms. J.P. Iron Cynthia, IAS MD, Kamaraja Port Limited. May I invite Ms. Purva Garg, IAS Secretary, Shipping. I now invite Mr. Jadveed, President, Ship Owners Association, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, to receive the felicitation. Next, I invite Mr. Vinod Padi, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, to receive the felicitation. Thank you, sirs and madam, and thank you very much, Sri Kashi Vishwanathan, sir, for doing the honors. And before we conclude this session, we would like to capture the special moment. May I request the session chair, the convener, all the panelists, and our moderator to kindly come together at the center of the dais for a group photograph. Thank you, everyone. As we come to the close of this insightful session, it's time to express our gratitude to all those who made this event a memorable success. To deliver the vote of thanks, may I now invite Colonel Jasser Resam, Chief Engineer, Cochin Port Authority, and Chief Engineer in Charge, Andaman and Lakshadweep Harbour Works.
Good afternoon, one and all. I'm sure with this session, your idea about Andaman and Nicobar Islands from being a land of isolation would have turned to a land of opportunities and a land of upcoming investment destination. So on behalf of the entire team of India Maritime Week, I thank Honorable Lieutenant Colonel Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Admiral Devendra Kumar Joshi, PVSM, AVSM, YSM, NM, VSM, for your inspiring words, and sharing your vision and sharing the vision of the Government of India. Thank you, sir. I thank Chairman Cochin Port and Chief Engineer and Administrator, ALHW, Sri B. Kashi Vishwanathan, IRSME, for your address and showcasing the opportunities in the island. I also thank Dr. Chandrabhushan Dr. Chandrabhushan Kumar, IAS, Chief Secretary, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, for moderating this informative session. Thank you, sir. Further, I thank all the panelists, Sri Chanchal Yadav, IAS, Commissioner, Tourism and Fisheries, Srimati Purva Garg, IAS, Secretary, Shipping, Mr. Mohammad Jadveed, President, Ship Owners Association, ANI, Mr. Vinod Padi, ANI, and Srimati J.P. Irene India, IAS, Managing Director, Kamraj Port Limited. Ma'am, I should say the mesmerizing video you showed, and in fact the video showed by Mr. Mohammad Jadveed would have made at least half of the people to book the flight tickets for the next vacation to Andamans. And lastly, and most importantly, I thank all the audience for sparing your time here and being here amongst us. Thank you once again.
As we come to the close of this special session, I extend heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished guests, speakers, panelists, and participants for making this discussion meaningful and impactful. And I wish everyone a productive and enriching day ahead. Thank you and Jai Hind.